Let me tell you about Marcus. Marcus made $180,000 a year. Nice apartment in Austin. New car every 3 years. 401k contributions on autopilot. By every measurable standard, Marcus was doing everything right. At 41, Marcus sat in a financial advisor's office and found out he had less than $60,000 in actual wealth. $180,000 a year. For 15 years. And $60,000 to show for it. Now here's what I want you to sit with, because this isn't a story about Marcus being irresponsible. Marcus had no debt spirals, no gambling problem, no secret vice. He was disciplined. He was saving. He was doing what every personal finance article told him to do. So what went wrong? I'll tell you exactly what went wrong. But first, you need to understand a concept that almost nobody in the personal finance space talks about, honestly, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it, and it will fundamentally change how you think about the paycheck hitting your account every 2 weeks. The concept is this: your salary is not an asset. It's a liability dressed up in a nice suit. Think about that for a second. Every dollar that comes in as salary is already spoken for before it arrives. It has a tax ID. It has a lifestyle attached to it. It has expenses that grew to meet it, because they always do. Parkinson's law isn't just about time. It applies to money with terrifying precision. Expenses expand to fill the income available. Every time Marcus got a raise, his life got a little more expensive. Not from laziness, from the completely natural human tendency to upgrade, the better neighborhood, the nicer restaurants, the car that felt appropriate for someone at his level. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it is the silent killer of salary earners everywhere. Here's the number that should stop you cold. The Federal Reserve's survey of consumer finances found that median household net worth for Americans aged 45 to 54 is under $170,000. These are peak earning years. These are people making real money. And the median net worth is less than what a moderately priced Tesla costs. The salary isn't the problem. The structure of how salary works is the problem. Because here's what a salary actually is. It's income that requires you to keep showing up. The moment you stop, injury, layoff, burnout, a company restructuring on a Tuesday afternoon, the income stops. There's no flywheel. There's no momentum. There's just the silence of a bank account that doesn't know how to feed itself. Now I want to contrast Marcus with someone else. Call her Priya. Priya made $74,000 a year as a regional manager for a logistics company, less than half of Marcus's income. Same city, same cost of living. But Priya had done something different in her late 20s. She had read a book called The Millionaire Next Door and found a single statistic that haunted her. The average millionaire in America is not the person driving the luxury car. It's the person driving the used Honda and quietly routing money into assets that multiply without permission. Priya bought a duplex. Then she bought another one. Not because she was particularly brave or particularly financial savvy at the start, but because she understood one thing that Marcus didn't. She understood that wealth is not about the size of your paycheck. Wealth is about what you own when you're not working. That distinction is everything. Think about the difference between earned income and asset income at the most basic level. Earned income says, you work, you get paid. Stop working, stop getting paid. Asset income says, you own something that generates value. Real estate, equity in a business, dividend-paying investments, and that thing keeps generating value whether you're at your desk or at the beach or flat on your back with a fever. Morgan Housel wrote in The Psychology of Money about a janitor named Ronald Reed who died and left $8 million to charity. A janitor. Not a trader, not a tech executive, a janitor who lived quietly and bought stakes in companies he understood and held them for decades. Ronald Reed had almost no salary to speak of, but he understood assets, and the assets compounded silently, patiently, relentlessly in the background of his ordinary life. This is the wealth-building strategy that salary earners never see, because nobody teaches it in school, and very few employers have any interest in their workforce understanding it. There's a term for what salary does to your wealth-building capacity. It's called the golden handcuff. Your salary keeps you comfortable enough to not take risks. It keeps you afraid of losing the income you've organized your entire lifestyle around. And so the years go by. The pay stubs stack up, and the asset column stays thin. Here's the uncomfortable reframe. The most dangerous financial position you can be in is not making too little money. It's making just enough money to feel like you don't need to do anything different. Marcus never felt urgency. He was too comfortable. And comfort, financially speaking, is often the most expensive thing you can buy. The people who build real wealth, the ones who hit their 40s with actual financial independence and not just a good-looking salary, they all share something in common. They treated their salary like a tool, not like a destination. The paycheck was the fuel. The asset portfolio was the engine. They lived on less than they earned, not because they were ascetic or joyless, but because they were building something their salary could never build alone. If you're a high earner watching this right now, 6 figures, maybe more, I want you to do one thing tonight. Open whatever account you have and look at your net worth, not your income. Net worth is the actual scoreboard. Income is just how fast you're running. Net worth tells you whether you're moving in the right direction. And if the net worth number makes you uncomfortable, if it feels too small for the income you've been earning, then this video has just done its job. Because the question is never how much are you making. The question is, how much are you keeping? And more importantly, how much of what you're keeping is working for you while you sleep? Marcus, by the way, isn't a fictional character. He's a composite. He's a dozen people I've described this dynamic to, who all had the same slow, quiet realization. Not that they were failures, but that they had been playing the wrong game with tremendous discipline. You don't have to be Marcus. The first step is the simplest and the hardest at the same time. Decide that your salary is a starting point, not an arrival. Own that decision every month when the paycheck comes in. Before lifestyle gets to it. Before impulse gets to it. Before comfort convinces you you've earned the upgrade. Save this video. Share it with someone whose income is growing faster than their wealth, and if you want to go deeper, watch the next video. That one will change the game for you.